Good morning, you guys. Today I thought I would bring you on a tour of the cottage garden. I call this the cottage garden because we've got a cottage and it is a mixed border with lots of beautiful perennials, some shrubs, some roses, some vines, and I think you're gonna love it. There's some cool things blooming today that I wanna show you. And this is a new garden. This garden was filled with liriope, and last year my assistant helped me remove it all. I definitely did not do this by myself. It was a lot of heavy work. Pulled all of the liriope out, and we improved the soil over the last year with a lot of compost. I did about a 4-inch layer of compost this year to fix the soil because it was so bad. We had some drainage issues. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. Planted it up last year with a bunch of perennials, some bulbs, and everything's starting to really look amazing. And so I want to introduce you guys to some of what I've planted already, show you what's blooming. So are you ready to get your bloom on? Let's go. So I want to start at this end of the garden because I want you to see that view. Is that gorgeous? Now, when I did this garden, I wasn't even really thinking about this view. I was thinking more about the view in front of the garden, viewing the cottage. This is really the money shot, right? I mean, look at how beautiful that bridge looks in the background to the secret garden. Is it such a secret from here? You don't know that there's a garden back there if you're just looking at this, but look at that pond from here. It's so pretty. So let's talk about some of the plantings that are here. Now, I recently shared a video about all of the Proven Winners annuals that I received, and I did plant a beautiful border of supetunias here. I've got so many planted. I'll have to show them in like a montage at the end of the video, but I did an entire border going all the way around the whole garden. Looks so pretty. Can't wait to see it fill in with some of my favorites that I've been growing on repeat for a few years now. Some are new in the last year, but several of them I've been growing for a few years and just love them, and so I replant them. And this year I wanted to do a border around the whole garden. Last year I did ageratum. This year I decided on supetunas, and I'm really happy with the result. So anyway, just standing back and appreciating the garden. You can see I've got some layers of perennials. I love foliage as much as I do flowers. So we've got apple twist, Heucheras, and a still be dark side of the moon. I love a still be dark side of the moon. Not only is that foliage gorgeous, but it will eventually get these really pretty purple flowers. And then new to me, I've never grown this before, is Thalictrum, otherwise known as Meadow Rue, and that is cotton candy. It is beyond gorgeous. And if you've never planted Meadow Rue before, I encourage you to do it because it's awesome. Look at all the texture it adds to the garden and just those flowers and the color. It's so pretty, really easy to grow. I planted this in the fall and it's doing amazing. I can't wait till they mature a little bit more so I can dig and divide them. But wow, really pretty perennial. I've got some blackberries and blueberries that I planted along here. I'm going to actually move the blackberries because there's not going to be enough room for them here. I just kind of needed like a spot for them to go when I acquired them. I think I'm going to move them to a different garden on the other side of the property, but for now they're fine. I'll dig them out in the fall. I planted the garden up with a bunch of daffodils, hyacinths, and alliums because they're deer resistant, and I knew the critters would essentially leave them alone. As you can see, my hyacinths and daffodils are totally done blooming. Gotta leave that foliage though, and I just talked about this in another video about the importance of leaving the foliage. And so what I like to do is I like to mix my spring flowering bulbs among my perennials and annuals to kind of conceal it a little bit. I mean, they don't look so bad right now because they're still green, but give them a few weeks and they are not gonna look so pretty anymore. So, for now, gonna leave it. They'll probably be here well into June. Maybe I'll probably cut them back just before July 4th weekend or something like that. I usually get to it pretty late in the season, but you gotta leave it because you don't want to sacrifice next year's flowers. So anyway, the allium bulbs that I have blooming here are Globe Master. I planted them all around the whole garden. I fell in love with these many years ago. And when I say many years ago, I mean before I even started learning how to garden. We were living in a condo. I was still in law school. We were newly married. And my neighbor, we're similar in age, she was growing these in a very tight spot in her townhome garden. So you don't have a lot of property with a townhome. So it was very small, very limited space. And she was growing these and I thought they were magical. And I always dreamed of having a garden with lots of alliums, and I've planted them. I will definitely plant some more. Maybe I'll do a second border behind it, and interplant it. But it's so gorgeous, and they will multiply over the years. So really happy with the result. So this is a holly tree. It gets yellow berries. I didn't plant it, so I could not tell you what the variety is, but it is very pretty during the season. It's not something that I planted. So let's see, what else do I have in the border here? I've got some sedum. This might be coral jade. It's either coral jade or lemon jade. I know I have one here and the other there, but since it's not blooming yet, I'm not really sure which one it is. This is, I think it's Boom Chocolate. I'm gonna put the name on the screen. Hardy geranium, cranesbill. Beautiful foliage, beautiful flowers. Love, 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 love this one. This is a daylily, not blooming yet, obviously, but it's got a really pretty yellow with some red markings. Very, very pretty. Another geranium. Just found this cute little garden cart at the place I told you guys about when I was giving the porch tour last week. It's at Ziegler's Statuary. And I thought it was so pretty. I thought it would be really nice, just even if I don't put any pots in it, just little garden ornament. So pretty. Thought it would add a little something to the garden. I may not keep it in this spot, but for now I just put it there, and it is kind of blocking my Indiglo Salvia though. That's Indiglo Girl Salvia. So I don't know, I might have to move it because it shouldn't really block that. But for now, I put it here. Little fun fact about salvias: if you cut them back after the first flush of flowers, you can get a second set of blooms. So I deadhead them right above a bud joint. I don't see any buds on these yet because they're not really done blooming, but eventually I will cut these back and we'll get more flowers. Just let me back up a little bit here so I can just mention a few supetunia, bubblegum pink, saffron finch, hoopla vivid orchid. Isn't that pretty? And then that's mini vista plum vein. Let's see, what else do I have here? I think this is, again, either coral jade or lemon jade. I think this one's the coral though. Coral jade, sedum, stonecrop sedum. So I do have some speedwell. It's not blooming yet. I don't remember the variety offhand. As soon as it blooms, I will though. I want to say it blooms purple. Some bee balm back there. Not blooming yet, but on its way. Some Heucherella that I just planted last fall. Look at the pretty foliage. I'll tell you, I just love how that foliage pops. And so I planted plum vein supetuinias to kind of complement the foliage. Look at that. And it gets these little pretty pink flowers. Over here, I've got leucanthemum spun silk. Not blooming yet, obviously, but super pretty. I've got another daylily there. I think it's ruby spider. I've got some agastache back there. Blooming string theory, Amsonia. I recently acquired Amsonias in the last 2 years, and they are so fun to grow. They're gonna get really big, which is why I gave it a lot of space. Really gorgeous. And I love it with the Meadow Rue, don't you? It's so pretty. I planted Salvia unplugged pink in here, and I've got yarrow peach sky. This one is stonecrop sedum back in black. Another Heuchera. Another stonecrop sedum. I actually don't remember the variety offhand. I don't remember which one is planted here. I'm gonna have to check my records. I have so many different sedum varieties that I have to really start marking where they all are. I just planted some lilies here. I've got stargazers, Asiatic lilies. I haven't grown lilies in years, and that's because it got hit with pests in my old garden and I just kind of gave up growing it. I've not grown them here, and so I've decided to give it a shot. So I'm really excited about it, and I cannot wait to see them all flower. I love lilies, and so does my oldest daughter, Mackenzie. So I kind of planted them because I thought she would enjoy them. I've got a hydrangea here, some supetunia bubblegum pink. These will all fill in, by the way, over time as the season progresses. These will really fill in. So this border is really gonna be beautiful. I've got Nepeta cat's pajamas. I'm not sure where these hostas came from. I didn't plant them, so they must have like, I don't know how they've self-seeded here. I've never seen hostas self-seed before, but apparently they do. I do have a climbing rose here. I did not plant it. I think the former homeowner used to have a few here because I see some damage on the house. And it must have just been really aggressive, but I didn't know this was here. And so now lately I've been trying to like take care of it to get it to bloom. So I'm trying to train it to go on the green fence. This is the fox statue that we bought at Ziegler's Statuary. And I bought it because this is where the fox family was living. And every time I come out here though, it kind of looks realistic. I mean, it's totally not, but if you're kind of working out here, out of the corner of your eye, it's almost like there's a fox there. So I kind of wanted to honor her and the little family that was here because it was so cute and such a fun memory. So that's why she's here. I might move it at some point, but for now, it's cool. I've got some yarrow that I started from seed last year. Again, I mean, the daffodil bulb foliage looks terrible, but gotta leave it. Gotta leave it. Plum vein supetuinias. Moonbeam coreopsis. I've got a phlox back here. I know it's opening act. I'm not sure which variety. The foxes really did a number on it because they were coming in and out under the cottage. And I didn't think they actually survived. So I'm really pleased to see them here. I'm so pleased to see that they made it. They survived. Here we are. I can't wait to see them bloom. So when they bloom, I'll remember which one it is. But it's definitely phlox. We've got climbing hydrangeas here. The former homeowners definitely planted these in place of the roses. You can tell, like, I think last year we pulled off some rose branches up there. So that rose must have been really, really aggressive. And then they replanted with these climbing hydrangeas. Climbing hydrangeas are easy to grow. I had one in our former garden climbing up the shed. We actually repainted a lot of this last year. So really pretty though. Hasn't really bloomed much, but I remember when I planted my climbing hydrangea at the old house, it took a while for it to bloom. So I'm not really surprised. It was a very young plant. They must have just planted it when we moved in. So not really surprised. We've got another Heucherella here. Can't really see it because it's under all the daffodil foliage. And then I planted some coral impatiens. And then this is Empress Wu hostas. Isn't she gorge? I spray these very heavily with deer repellent. I used deer out. I could see we had a chewer already. I'm gonna have to treat these with some slug bait too, because that's probably where some of the holes are already coming from. So it's just a little bit of management with hostas between the deer and slugs, but totally worth it. These are ginormous. I planted these last year. They're gonna get so much bigger. Really, really beautiful hostas. That's it, you guys. What do you think? There are some seriously pretty plants in here, right? I love the combination of the chartreuse with the darker foliage and the pink and purple blooms. So, so pretty. Thanks so much for joining me in the garden today. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy a beautiful day.